take the libertarian move here. No, it's because of the military-industrial complex. This is about money. They want to keep putting money into these places.
There's no military solution to this. No.
And they hope so. The war is not meant to be won.
Who's the they?
The war is meant to continue forever. That's the goal. That's why they can put $4 billion into Israel every single year and keep buying guns and throw more missiles there, put more missiles in the military-industrial complex. People who are buying and selling all of these missiles, they're throwing them into into Ukraine, they're throwing them into Israel. Keep bombing. They don't care.
Well, I agree that warmongering is good business, but this is a conflict that dates back millennia. I mean, this really is foundational.
This one isn't. No. This one is only about 80 years, give or take. This one is only about 80.
Right.
And this is the one where we made the most money on. We didn't make money 2,000 years ago. We made money on this one, and we're still making
we, Larry?
I'm sorry, you're right. Thank you. I should be clear on that. The elites in the American
Everyone
political
Eisenhower warned us
establishment.
about.
Correct. Everyone Eisenhower said don't do. Nikki Haley's yelling about bombing people.
Yeah.
Right?
But you think the reason Nikki Haley's doing that is so people can make money?
Because
Come
the
on.
people,
That is not why Nikki Haley is saying.
So she just likes bombing people? She's the biggest warmonger that we have. Who's running for president?
Whether she's right or wrong.
Yeah, she's a huge warmonger.
Whether she's right or wrong, the notion that she's a warmonger, because she wants to make money, is absurd.
So she's just evil?
No, she's someone who believes that there's goals that need to be accomplished and that the only way to accomplish
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I think she's
bombing.
saying what she thinks is going to help her campaign.
Yeah,
I think
that's maybe better. I would buy that too. I mean, I would buy that also.
Right, but not everyone who supports Israel's retaliation against Hamas just wants to make money off of
them out.
Well,
she didn't.
Yes, because they attacked civilians and raped women and kidnapped children.
Bomb them all. She doesn't care.
They're terrorists. That is what you should do.
It's not such a crazy thing to say if you're talking about Hamas, wipe them out.
How did that work in Afghanistan? How did that work in Iraq?
How
did that work anytime?
We're not talking about the U.S.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. But
okay, but the U.S. is not bombing Gaza. Israel is retaliating against terrorists that kidnapped its children and raped its women. This is a distinction that's important.
Using U.S. bombs.
And they're calling Joe Biden genocide because we funded the missiles that they're using.
Correct.
But Mossad is going to go door to door. Mossad's going to take care of this. Hamas is done.
I don't know. It's not that easy, right?
It isn't.
It's not that easy, but it's going to be violent.
Hamas leadership is camped out in Qatar. They're not done.
Correct.
They're not
the
done.
billionaires who fund all this are going to be fine. It's the suckers they got to go commit their violence for them, just like bin Laden,
100%.
just like they always do. But there is no military solution to this. It's going to keep on being more and more bloodshed, and at some point, Netanyahu will lose the goodwill he has now.
Well, Netanyahu will. Yeah. The question is whether Israel
will as well.
If Netanyahu's at the helm, a year from now, Israel will still have battered, broken, unsecure borders, and the Palestinians will still be economically and politically screwed.
Well, but
nothing's going to change a year from now.
Israel actually had a pretty good border with Gaza. I mean, they had one of the best borders ever. It's just that they weren't monitoring it, and they weren't, seriously. I mean, if they had actually paid attention a little more.
Well, the Egyptians told them. Just like George W. Bush, they were warned in advance.
That's what they say. Look, I'm not saying it's not true.
Netanyahu propped up Hamas. You know this. In 2019, he said they're our best chance. And Hamas, again, not to go religion, but extreme right-wing fundamentalist religion always betrays the teachings of their faith. And Netanyahu and Hamas have been locked in this codependent, violent embrace for 20 years because they're both wartime consiglieres. If peace broke out, they'd all be useless. They need the hatred of each other to solidify their own power.
Do you want to make a final?
It is true. Neither party wants a two-state solution.
Yes, right.
Netanyahu doesn't want a two-state solution. Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution.
And by the way, I've been going crazy watching what some of those settlers are doing, murdering Palestinians. But that's not the same, right? It has to be distinguished. That's not the same as the Israeli government responding.
Correct.
These are
who gave them the guns? Who passed out the guns?
Okay, again, but the fact that who passed out the guns is a different question from individuals who should be held accountable. Each one of those settlers who are going and murdering people ought to be held accountable. And you know why in particular?
I agree.
So that Israel can say, we are holding the murderers accountable as distinguished from what we're doing in Gaza.